Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video, I'll be facing fellow streamer Woot from the 301 region, and let's have a quick look at my packs here to decide what I'm going to be picking. Now, having a quick look, I think Rhino Spec looks the best. Spider Fang generally is quite a nice starting pack, and then Rhino Spec is just lovely, getting those additional credits. However, I have played a lot against Woot, and in my experience, haven't had that much success playing the spiders early on because I know he likes to play air units a lot, and he also likes to pick saber packs, and seeing no saber packs, I was a bit worried that he might get them offered, and that does happen to be the case as he has a crawler and saber pack. So instead, I go for something a little bit more unusual and decide to pick Marksman Mustang. I do get the Sabertooth Specialist, and this was factored into my decision, knowing that I'll get access to that Sabertooth round 2 to kind of tank for the rest of my board. I've also been playing around a little bit with Assault Marksman, paired with like Hounds and Mustangs on the patch, and so that's what I wanted to try out. Although I have to say, it's not the best to click in this scenario. Sabers are rather good into Assault Marksman, but we'll have to see if this works. Still opting to place them in a way that they could potentially tank, and then the best thing I can do is just add some chaff. I don't expect to win the first round. It's a very hard thing to do with this opener, plus being into Elite. And yeah, my opponent picks up 2 blue arc lights. That is going to be a little bit too much hit points, I think, to deal with on round 1. Arc lights will get rid of my crawlers, and then should get rid of my Mustangs as well. And we do manage to get some early locks, so we get rid of a blue arc there, and I think we should be able to dispatch of those sabers as well. And I'm pretty happy with that. Can't complain too much. Only taking some chip damage, and with a 5k hit point start, there's nothing wrong about that. Now, round number 2, we get our saber, and this is where we get one of the best items in the game, improved firepower control system. Subsidized Mustang is offered as well, but I already have 2 Mustangs, so no need for that. And yeah, you'll see me pick that up and quickly put that on one of my Mustang. And my opponent, however, goes for subsidized. Now, I think this is the wrong play on Elite. I think that picking subsidized is never going to make up for skipping an improved. And honestly, even in this case, where my opponent, by the way, loans on round 2 to be able to afford 2 Mustangs, all he's done is just paid off the subsidized Mustang card, right? So you have to buy an insane number of Stangs to get lots of value out of this, and usually 4 Stangs is enough. And I think that the improved is probably worth more than 100 in the long run. Now I decide to pick up an arc light and another crawler pack behind my main army, and then also throw a crawler at the left tower here from the corner, which looks like it will get a debuff. And we might even be able to win this round where my opponent is loaning. I would not recommend this, by the way. I think my opponent here was trying out something, or maybe figuring out that Elite Spec sometimes does have money problems in the early game, so you have to make careful decisions. I don't think loaning on round 2 is the best play, but we'll have to see if he can make it work. And yeah, it does look like we will be winning round 1. Sabertooth even manages to pick up a lot of experience. I mean, we are up against Elite Spec after all, so lots of levels available. And round 3, we get Farseer, Triple Hound, Phoenix, or Tarantula. Now, I decided to pick up the Hound. These packs, honestly, they've shown up a lot. Not many people tend to run Hounds, so they will often show up in the free unit drops, and you get lots of deployments and lots of levels for free. So yeah, I think those are really insane, and I have ended up picking them more often than not. Tarantula was a consideration there as well. It is a unit that's very good into Mustang, good into all types of chaff, even into Hound. So the level 3 there would have been an okay pick as well, in my opinion. But hey, it's the Hound patch, so we gotta play a little bit of Hound. Opponent goes for the same thing, put some Fangs in front by the looks of it, and opts to missile out my crawlers, which I did level. I did put a missile there as well, to try and maybe deal with a counter push. And let's see how this is going. My opponent does have the advantage here of being an Elite Spec, so all of his units being higher level than mine, the level 2 Mustangs, the level 2 Arc Lights, the level 2 Crawlers, does make for, well, a tough headbutt situation, and it looks like I am getting outmatched for now in the damage department. Now, round number 4, we get another good item showing up for Mustang. Laser sight is available. Both of us pick it up, and Yeah, there it goes, onto the Mustang. Opponent already has level 3 Mustang, by the way. Kind of scary, considering I haven't managed to level my Stangs on the previous turn. And that's why I decided to range them now. Hopefully I'll be able to kind of catch up. There's level 2 Fangs to shoot at now, and with the range, they should be a bit safer. And be enabled, hopefully, to catch up on experience. Left side now, a bubble, a Mustang, and a crawler aimed at my tower. That will absorb the missile that was there before. And it probably will mean that these units will be going for my tower, sadly. Yeah, that does look to be the case. On the main side of the fight, though, we clicked assault mode, and that is seemingly making a difference. Those Mustangs not quite able to kill all of my units as fast as they did the previous round. Now, I say that, we get debuffed, so looks like it will be a loss again, but the right side, I have to say, was looking much, much better. And I got what I came for out of the round. I managed to get experience on my Mustang, and so both of them will be leveling up. Now, round number 5, and we get Phantom Ray, Steel Ball, Wasp, and Wraith offered to us. Phantom Ray here looks quite strong, I have to say. I think it's one of the strongest unit drops you can get when your opponent is only relying on Mustangs for their chaff clear, because it does have access to that armor. Very, very powerful drop, and it has caused me some problems in the past as well. So I opt to go for that right away, and you will see me clicking the armor. One in front of the Stang pack here on the left, and one in front of the Stang pack on the right. And opponent decides to go for the high deployments there, going for the steel balls instead. I was a little bit surprised about this. I guess he will be able to deal with this marksman I added on the line last round, but it does seem like he will be ignoring the potential for armored phantoms. And if he doesn't add anything, he will probably just lose the round by default. I added Mustang here to the left as well, kind of trying to defend my left flank in case he tried to do something over there. And then we add some more crawlers here in front of our phantoms. Missile might be going either for the crawlers or the phantom here, I'm not quite sure. And we do get crawlers in front of our marksman there on the corner. Yeah, it looks like the phantoms absorbed that. A flank is coming in too, so I'm happy I put the Mustangs there. That'll prevent a early debuff from happening. And the phantoms are doing a great job here, getting rid of those steel balls, preventing them from getting to tower, and at the same time tanking the Mustangs. And probably they should be getting that shield. So I'm getting lots of value out of the tech already. Right side, you can see those Mustangs just can't do anything. And it even looks like our Saber will be able to kill the higher level Saber and pick up a level for itself. Really nice so far, and I managed to chip down my opponent to below 3k. Round number 6. Now, enhancement module is always a bit of a consideration, but I didn't have too many things to level up and sell, and so I wasn't quite convinced that that was the right move. I could, of course, like level up the Saber, but I don't necessarily want to sell it because it's been doing a good job, dealing lots of damage every round. And, well, looking at the rest of the cards, it might just be a sell. I could try an electromagnetic blast and expect my opponent to tech, but right now he didn't have any. And honestly, I quite like just having all the money available, and so you will see me skip on this given round. Opponent, though, does go for the enhancement module, and enhances an arc light, sells it, and then throws the enhancement module onto the Mustangs. The problem with doing this is that usually your Mustangs are going to be one of the best units on the board, and so if they don't level, well, the best use case generally for enhancement module is leveling and selling giants to make profit. But with this type of play, you often will just get stuck having the enhancement module perpetually on your high level Mustang. It does give a bit of a boost, so it's equal to a small amplifying core, but it's an expensive small amplifying core. And I decided to go for a crawler play here. Elite recruiting crawlers, going for replicate because he is on the sides and he's mostly relying on Mustangs to chaff clear. There are some hounds in there, but untech'd and at the same level of crawlers, they won't do that great of a job at clearing. And so I opt to make a bit of a chaff play here. And this is something you can definitely do when your opponent is only relying on Mustang. they do not like to deal with crawlers. So buying high-level crawlers and going for a replicate play or sometimes just a subterranean blitz play can definitely pay off. And that's what I'm aiming for in this scenario. So we've replicated off the flank and we got a really nice pull from the looks of it. Opponent went for phoenixes to deal with my phantoms, but is not managing to get to my tower. And so because of that, I don't get debuffed and it looks like I should be able to win the round. Opponent, by the way, has still been loaning. I think finally round 6 now I start loaning as well, but obviously my opponent here already down 400. Or even 500, I think, loaning on round 2 and loaning every single round after. Round number 7, shield airdrop is available. Quick teleportation could be a play if we want to go on the flank. Looks like I just take the deployment module instead, opting to move the Sabertooth to the left. And my idea was, well, my opponent has been putting down shields every single round so far to protect these units from getting missiled. What I could do is press double shot and instantly break the shield, and then maybe put a missile there to hit that pack of units. And that is going to be the play, right? 22k damage, double shot, so 44k. That shield is 40k worth of hit points, and so that will instantly go down at the start of the round. I also click drill because I clicked replicate, and so I was expecting my opponent to go for a drill play because drill crawlers tend to win against replicate crawlers, but obviously they can't win if your crawlers have both replicate and drill. AP now comes out as well. I think it's probably one of the best techs available to Mustang to try and deal with crawlers. Doesn't mean that they're really good still against them, but it will help somewhat. And we just add more crawlers to the board here. And let's see how this goes. I'm also noticing that my opponent isn't respecting the phantoms too much. You will see that he only has the double phoenix, and so I'm already thinking I might just be able to get away with buying more of those. Just elite recruiting more of the phantoms, perhaps giving them more effective hit points by going portable shield. And kind of trying to stat check my opponent in the anti-air department. But man, I have to say that enemy Sabertooth there is absolutely crushing my army. Killed my own Saber, and now with the tower debuff, I won't have enough damage from the looks of it to be able to take it down. So round 7, we'll be going over to Woot. And this game is much, much closer than maybe you'd expect after those early loans. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Round 8, missile strikes available, wasp swarm available as well. Both of those could be worth going for. If I can hit a Mustang pack, I'd be pretty happy, but I could also see a bit of a cheese play with the wasps. Opponent goes for the missile strike, tries to hit one of my level 3 Mustangs. Should probably be shielding here. And looks like I'm still debating which one of the cards I pick. Looks like I'll go for the cheaper one, opting to go for missile strike. And yeah, opponent does level his other tower now as well, and even puts missiles back there, so in hindsight, definitely happy that I picked that. Opponent now also picks up range on his Stangs, and on round 8, that's honestly pretty late considering how early he picked those up. Puts down 3 shields yet again, and this is where I decide to elite recruit 2 more blue phantoms to try and put them in the middle. There's no phoenixes over there, so we should be able to lock up a lot of these Mustangs for quite some time. And now my opponent buys more Mustang, triple Mustang, in fact. And so he is starting to make quite a bit of money off that subsidized Mustang. Already has 250, I think, with those. Oh, maybe even more, now that I'm looking at it. Maybe even 300. Yeah, 8 Mustangs there, so 6 Mustangs worth of profit. 300 resources, but he's also been loaning every single round, so he's probably still down overall. Interesting beacon there, trying to pull my units away from the tower. I will have to see how this goes. I did add a missile interceptor here to try and make sure that he doesn't keep missiling all my crawlers, because they are quite important. And yeah, Phoenix not able to deal with those Phantom Rays, so you can see the Mustangs there are locked up, and meanwhile, the Crawlers are running in and starting to replicate. Right side is going even, but I still have the shield here to be able to make up for it. And that should mean that I do win. I mean, look at the damage from these guys, though. Oh boy, level 5 range AP, kind of scary. But we do manage to win, and that will send our opponent down to sub 1500. Round number 9, Ion Blast available. It's kind of an insta-pick. Super powerful spell if you manage to land it. And very cheap on top of that. So here we go. Trying to hit the units on the right side. Opponent goes for the same thing. We do shield up. I can probably try and like beacon these guys outside of the Ion. And looks like I opt to go for the energy shield after all. So second tech now, that will double the effective hit points. And yeah, my opponent really does need to answer the Phantom threat. But for now, it looks like he will simply go for aerial specialization, boosting the damage from the Mustangs even more against air units. And that should be plenty to be able to at least damage the Phantoms, right? These level 2s only block 120. And these guys already have 202. And I think that does include the anti-air bonus, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it should. Because they're already within range of the Phantom Rays, so... we'll have to see how this goes. There's more Phantom Rays now being added, I believe. Yeah, more level 2s. And looks like I sold my Saber because it wasn't doing too much. And I tried to make a play for the left tower with a beacon and a triple Phantom Ray pack. Opponent also does beacon outside of that beam. Clever play, and that means that his level 6 Mustangs won't be going down immediately. But the left side, look at those Crawlers go. Replicating all over the place. And now making a beeline for those enemy Mustangs. Sadly though, I lost the right side, and looks like those enemy units will be trying to get my level 1 tower, which will lead to 9 seconds of debuff. Will we be able to get the enemy level 2 tower though? Those level 6 Mustangs really don't care too much about the Phantom Rays by the looks of it. Absolutely getting destroyed there. That is insane. And will we be able to win? I think we might just about. Yeah, there we go. But that's only going to result in chip damage yet again. And so we enter round 10 and our opponent still hasn't gone down. Round 10. And we have the famed high-level Rhino drop. Wasps here don't make too much sense. Tarantula, I think, is outscaled on the board. Maybe we can make it work, but the Rhino just looks too tempting. Same thing with the Wraith. I currently don't run armor on it, so that play wouldn't be available to me. And I feel like my opponent already has to answer my onslaught of Phantoms. And if he can deal with the Phantoms, he can probably deal with the Wraith as well. So it's going to be the Rhino, and the Rhino also does have access to cheap armor. And unlike the level 2 Phantom Rays that block 120, this guy will be blocking much, much more, 420 damage, because it is a level 7. And yeah, that is a perfect unit there to put in front of my Phantoms. I make a little bit of space to add a missile interceptor so that he can't easily slow down that Rhino. And then make a beeline for the left tower yet again. Looks like my opponent has a similar idea, however. Picks up that Rhino as well and has it aimed for my right tower. So we've got a bit of a headbutt situation here where both of us have a strong side and a weak side. And yeah, we're just trying to race to the tower. Opponent now also going for Missile Interceptor, which not only gets rid of the missiles that I'm trying to go for here, but it also intercepts the shots from the Phantom Rays. We'll have to see if it's going to be enough though, because I do have a good amount of Phantoms and I still have that Rhino on the left. Ooh, late missile being added there. One will be intercepted, but I think this one might be a little bit too far away for that turret to do its job. And yeah, there goes the missile. Doesn't get intercepted, so we'll slow down my Rhino. And meanwhile, on the right side, we're trying to do what we can, but sadly, yeah, level 5 Mustangs with 314 damage are not quite able to break that threshold of 420. It looks like our tower will be going down again. Now, this is 9 seconds of debuff, and I probably should be leveling the right tower, but I'm being a bit greedy and wanting to invest into other parts of my board. The one issue I have here, though, is look at these 3 pesky crawlers. Going for my missile interceptor turret, and then going for my tower there as well. The hound, I guess, is following them too, but it means that I will be getting debuffed for another 9 seconds. And with the steel ball still alive, that makes a very, very big difference, as my phantoms now won't be able to get the tower themselves, and I will be losing on round 10, and losing a significant amount of hit points at that, now going down to 752 myself. Round number 11, we get Lightning Storm offered, and yeah, you will see me pick this very quickly. It's kind of a rule of thumb, I guess, in the late game. If you see a big spell like this, you're almost always better off picking it, because it just has so much potential, right? Storm is fantastic at clearing small units, and with these type of boards, if you manage to get rid of the shields that are placed down, then, well, you just can't afford not to take it. Opponent respects it, goes for it as well. And missile strikes are back off cooldown. Of course, I'm going to go for the shields, because like I mentioned, I need to try and at least defend this if I can. And I decide to missile a Mustang here, thinking that maybe he will only shield on the front lines. And he should probably expect that I will be storming on his strong side. Also, I opt to go for oil here, hoping that I could maybe slow down my opponent. But yeah, we do get the beacon out of him, and he levels that tower, goes for some late shields, and tries to protect his units as they make their way over to his left tower. Opponent here puts down 2 missiles, because that's going to be too much for this interceptor turret to take down, which means that the rhino should get slowed. And we opt to go for the burst mode on the Phantom Raids, hoping that maybe I can overwhelm the opponent's interception and get some shots through. Rhino, though, still hasn't really been answered. I mean, we've got the late Phoenixes over there, but keep in mind I still have this army of crawlers running in, and while those Mustangs are very busy shooting at my Phantoms, the crawlers are getting in and replicating. Opponent also goes for oil on the right side, so a little bit of an interesting play there. I did level my tower after all, but seems like we won't be needing it. However, we made it to the left tower, and with that beacon, my opponent has basically fed me all of those high-level Mustangs on the silver platter, as we will very happily get rid of those during the 7 seconds of debuff, and that should be enough to take the win. This was quite the exciting game. Very unusual. I have to commend Woot for sure for playing Elite and loaning on round 2 and making it this far. I almost ended up going down, but yeah, round at the end there does get decided by the storm. I think moving away there was definitely not the correct play, although this is a bit in hindsight. But yeah, should have maybe tried to get to the tower, although that's why I leveled this and put down the oil, so it would have been quite a difficult affair. And yeah, it kind of shows you the power of crawlers into Mustang. Of course, it was paired up with the Phantom Ray drop. The armor there did a good job of kind of locking up the Mustangs and allowing the crawlers to get in. And yeah, we play that Rhino pack at the end to close things out. If you liked this game, please leave a thumbs up and let me know what you think down below. Have you played a lot of Phantoms? Have you played a lot of Mustang? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Let me know. If you want to stay up to date with my latest content, please do consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. With that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.